If you're looking to fix up a busted factory bumper on your new Edge Cobra, or just looking to give that 99 to 04 Mustang a facelift in general, well then OPR's Cobra Front Bumper here would be a great choice. Now you have to keep in mind the option we are talking about in this video will ship primed. Yes, I know this bumper has been sprayed red already. However, that is just for installation and B-roll purposes only. So with that said, just keep in mind guys, you are purchasing a primed option here with this video. Now, the Cobra Front Bumper will be built to factory specs from that durable yet flexible urethane, but again, will need to be painted prior to the installation. Price point's gonna hover around that $650 price point. While the install itself will get a middle of the road 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter here and should take a few hours to complete from start to finish, as we'll show you later in the video. So as I mentioned earlier guys, this bumper will appeal to a wide variety of 99 to 04 owners out there for a couple different reasons. Now first and foremost, if you are a Terminator or Cobra owner in general and you've gotten maybe into a little fender bender or your factory bumper is just beat, well then this would be a great way to get your car back to new again. On the other hand, if you do have a V6, GT, Mach 1, or Bullitt, and you really just dig the look of those factory Cobra bumpers, and let's face it, who doesn't, then going with the OPR option here would make for a relatively easy and affordable way to facelift your ride. Now the bumper itself again has been built to factory specs out of that pliable urethane material here guys, so you can expect a great fit in a lot more durability than say compared to a fiberglass option, which really doesn't have that flex. Now, since this is a primed option, you will need to get the bumper painted to match your ride prior to the installation. Now, I do want to point out a couple of quick things here. First and foremost, this bumper is meant to delete that factory grille entirely, just like the OE Cobras. So with that said, don't try to install the honeycomb grille from your V6 or your GT into this opening because it simply will not work. Now secondly guys, this bumper does not include any of the fog light bezels or the fog lights themselves to fit in the lower portion of this bumper. And in my opinion, they really are needed to help complete the look. However, you can find them here on the site for about roughly 80 to 90 extra bucks. So definitely check those out as well. Last but not least, it also does not ship with any kind of chin spoiler. Now OPR does make a really clean looking Cobra style chin spoiler that you can also find here on the site, and something to consider when checking out something like this to really nail that look entirely. But outside of all that, the bumper will install just like your factory piece. In fact, OPR does kick in some brackets and pop rivets to help you get everything in place, but that's pretty much about it. However, we do want to give you a better idea of how things are going to go down here, so here's that detailed walkthrough we promised you earlier, along with a quick tool breakdown.
The tools needed for this install are a 1/4 inch ratchet, a pop rivet gun, an 11mm socket, a clip removal tool, a Phillips head screwdriver, and a small pocket screwdriver. So the first step of this install is going to be to pop the hood and remove the clips at the upper part of the grille before moving to your inner fender liners and then underneath the bumper. Next, I'm going to remove this screw on the fender liner as well as one clip on the inside to pull the fender liner back and gain access to the bolts and screws that are on the inside. Now I'm going to use an 11mm socket to remove the 2 nuts on the inside of the bumper. This is also going to be a really good time to unplug my fog light as I have very good access to it. Now I'm going to repeat that process on the other side of the vehicle. This bumper has been off before and the screw is missing and been replaced, so I'm going to use a 7mm socket to remove this screw, remove the inner fender liner, pull it back, and pull the bolts for the bumper. Now I'm just going to pop these 2 clips out from underneath the bottom. This bumper should be ready to come off. With all that hardware removed, we're ready to pull the bumper off. So as you can see, this bumper comes with provisions for fog lights. However, the factory GT fog lights are not going to fit in here. This is only designed for the Cobra style fog lights. Now this bumper does not come with these fog lights. However, if you go to our website, you can find a whole kit that includes the fog lights and the brackets that you'll be needing to put them into this bumper. And now's going to be a good time to do it. As you got the bumper off the car, it's a lot easier to install. So because there's no fog lights to install in this bumper, now we can install the supplied brackets. You're going to need a rivet gun and the supplied rivets, and you're going to put them on in either corner. Use your factory bumper orientation to figure out how the brackets go on, and you should be fine. All right, now I'm ready to install the brackets that come with the kit. I'm also going to use the rivets that are included with the kit as well. Now for this, you're going to need a rivet gun, and make sure you hold the bracket tight up against the bumper and squeeze the rivet. And now we can repeat this process on the other side of the bumper. So now we've got our brackets riveted on, we can throw the bumper into place, and we're in the home stretch. Now I'm going to reinstall the factory hardware that holds the bumper onto the fender. And that's going to wrap up this review and install of the OPR Cobra Front Bumper cover for your 99 to 04 Mustang. Thanks for watching, and for all things Mustang, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.